Hey everybody, this is Coach Tara Woodruff, the Mind Reset Coach, coming to you from my home office here in Holiday, Florida. I did some rearranging again. I was having struggles with having the bed right behind the computer like that. It was just not enough separation. Getting to sleep was friggin' impossible, and staying asleep was impossible. So I moved things around again. And basically what I got going on here, let me show you before we get into the 13th verse of the Tao. The bed's over there now. See? And there's my vision board right at the foot, so when I wake up, that's where it's at. Stella's pissed she can't come in here. Then I have this thing here blocking all the business going on over this way. And then now I have this little spot. And I have my water bottles and my wine jugs over there because I drink wine spritzers at night. And the lighting, I think, is way better, too. I just don't feel like I look as harsh as I was the last couple of days. I mean, I understand I wasn't illuminating the good side of my face, but my gosh, I felt like it just wasn't right. So I was very uncomfortable with that and very uncomfortable with sleeping. So I got it all figured out, and I'm super excited. I don't see any lights flashing when I play my sleep hypnosis music. I don't have any problem sleeping. The sun is not banging into my eyes first thing in the morning. And so I'm really happy. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and get on to the 13th verse. And this is the 13th verse of the Tao Network Marketing. We're relating the Tao Te Ching to our network marketing businesses. Whether you're in it or not yet, these are things that, I mean, this could be really blanketed even further, just in business or success. So, I mean, it's blanketed all the way, like for life. But I really want to help network marketers find some peace in their business so that they're not struggling so hard to achieve success, because success doesn't have to be hard struggle. It doesn't mean that it doesn't take work and that it's not challenging. It is. But when you have the right mindset, things flow for you a lot easier, and I want to help you have a flowing experience in your network marketing business. My goal is to help as many people become as successful as possible in network marketing so that there's less people out there saying that it's a scam, because it's not. It's a legitimate business. Okay, let's go ahead. Okay, 13th verse. Favor and disgrace seem alarming. High status greatly affects your person. Why are favor and disgrace alarming? Seeking favor is degrading. Alarming when it's gotten, and alarming when it's lost. Why does high status greatly afflict your person? The reason we have a lot of trouble is that we see that we have selves. If we have no selves, what trouble would we have? Man's true self is eternal, yet he thinks, I am this body and will soon die. If we have no body, what calamities can we have? One who sees himself as everything is fit to be guardian of the world. One who loves himself as everyone is fit to be teacher of the world. Now, this is one of my favorite subjects. What Lao Tzu is really discussing here is following your gut, trusting your gut, because your gut instincts, that oneness within inside of you that helps you make decisions, not the nasty little voice that says things are bad, but the one that gives you that idea that if you just follow it up on, you know what I'm saying? Like the gut instinct when you meet someone new and you just have a funny feeling and you ignore it because how could you be so judgmental? And you go ahead and embrace a relationship with that person one way or another, whether it's business or personal, and things go bad. Follow your gut and you'll stay out of the way of that. Let me read a little bit here I underlined quite a bit in this chapter from Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Mind by Dr. Wayne Dyer. So I'm going to go ahead and read it to you. I'm going to have to put my spectacles back on. My eyeballs are still tired. Excuse me. The essential message of the 13th verse of the Tao Te Ching seems to be that it's crucial to remain independent both of positive and negative opinions of other people. Regardless of whether they love or despise us, if we make their assessments more important than our very own, we will be greatly afflicted. You have a basic nature that is uniquely yours. Learn to trust that Tao nature and be free of other people's opinions. Allow yourself to be guided by your essential beingness. Oh, shoot. I mean, what was that? That was some sort of Freudian slip or something. It's the natural you that nourishes your independent mind. By contrast, chasing after favored status or lofty titles to display self-importance are examples of living in a mind that depends on external signals rather than natural inner voice. If you are tempted to feel insecure because others disagree with you, recall that Lao Tzu counseled that seeking favor is degrading. Your worldly self isn't your true identity, so trust your eternal self to communicate with you. Respect your vision and trust your natural passionate thoughts that are aligned with the loving essence of the Tao. When you have a dream to do something great, when you have a dream to make your business work, when you have that is set in your mind and it's part of your being, that dream, they call it, so some people say that's God's gift to you. You know what I'm saying? I was on the, I actually talked on the phone yesterday with somebody I hadn't talked to in a long time, somebody that I considered my best friend for years. A wonderful person. However, the last time that I talked to them, I decided that I wasn't going to go out of my way to call too much anymore, because I felt like every time I was discussing things, that, all of a sudden, oh, let me tell you what you should do then. And, they would give me this crazy stuff, these opinions and advice that, I was finding myself like, what are you talking about? And I didn't want to do that to our relationship, so I figured I would just let it be. And I don't need to make any contact, right? And yesterday the phone rang because they noticed that I had deleted them from Facebook. They didn't say that, but they noticed that I had deleted them from Facebook because even though I considered them my best friend, they had blocked my notifications. They didn't block me personally, but you can actually not see what other people post on your friends list. And they had unfollowed in that way. They had done that, and they didn't. It's the only form of communication that we really have now, and they weren't even coming over to see what was new with me, even though they had me unfollowed. And that bothered me. And when I realized that, that upset me, because I had invested all this emotional, I called them my best friend. So what happened was, they had actually, their spouse won $1 million on a lottery scratch-off ticket. Go figure. And they struggled, and this was a good thing. And I was waiting for the phone call, for them to be, to share the good news with me, because I want to be shared with the good as well as the not so good. And the phone call never happened. And I became positively sure that I was probably the only person that considered themselves close friends with that person that didn't ask for any money and would never ask for any money. And when my father passed, and they didn't know, and they didn't call me, because I'm not going to call them, I deleted them from Facebook, because there's no reason for us to continue having that there. He could pick up the phone. Now, all that ego involved with that, do you see that? So we get on the phone, and they ask, so what are you doing these days? And I'm like, internet marketing, He's like, oh, you making any money? I said, well, I'm not rich yet, but, I wanted to say I didn't win $1 million on a scratch-off either, Like, it's almost as if it's very condescending, like they delegitimize my business because I don't get a paycheck from someone else. You know what I'm saying? Like, really? That's crazy. That's crazy sauce. So, when you are, especially in the beginning of embarking on a network marketing career, you're going to find people that are going to think that your stuff is bullshit. Now, some of your stuff out there, guys, is bullshit. And that's okay, too. That's part of the process of growing in this industry. Sometimes you just got to be part of bullshit until you figure out what isn't. Because sometimes your gut isn't going to show you what's bullshit. There's so many companies out there that pay very little commissions, and you have to have this incredible amount of mass influence for you to get anywhere. And that kind of sucks, but, the thing is that's good is that there's a solution. I'm in a company that, you could make six figures with a team of, 300 or 400 people when you could not do that in traditional product, like a physical product-based MLM. You can't. You need 30,000 people in your downline that are active. So when you're thinking about this business and you're finding resistance with other people's opinions, don't seek it. Don't seek their opinion. Their opinion is invalid. The only opinion that's valid is your own. Now, there are people that you're going to trust in your life that you're going to seek counsel with. And they might not always see your vision, but they'll respect it, and they're not going to turn you away from something when they don't have a better offer for you. You understand what I'm saying? If someone, let me put it to you this way, for you to judge whether or not somebody else's opinion is worth listening to, send them your bills every month. Ask them, do they have a solution then? Not just advice, a solution. Can you employ me to do what I love, the hours that I'm available to do it, when I can, and require me to be maybe, and that's not even a real requirement, but have a couple of, hours a week that we get together and have a meeting or a presentation or something, and whether we do it on the internet or in person or whatever, and pay me accordingly. Livable wage, if not better. If somebody's giving you an attitude about your business, they can't do that. They have no business in your business. Don't try to convince people. See, that's another thing that happens in our industry. We try to convince people. I did this for years. That's why I had zero success for years. I mean, I lived a year without lights, a year without running water. I was going to the public library every single day. I was spending about 70 hours a week there on my laptop, trying really hard to spam everyone I knew so that I could make some money because I was desperate because I didn't have anything. We were living on loaves of bread and jars of peanut butters. We were having cheese toast for dinner. We were fucking suffering around here. Okay? There was no jobs to be had, so it was not, there was none of that. It was just work your business, work your business, work your business. And it was a very difficult time. And I made a lot of mistakes because of the level of anxiety that I brought to the table all the time. So, but I knew that I still had a better way than anybody else. I already knew that. I knew that so well when it was Thanksgiving, and we had just got everything back together. In August, by the time Stella was born, we had everything turned on. Everything was fine. We had worked our way through it and found a way and busted through. And it was around Thanksgiving time. And we went to Publix. My mom brought us over to Publix to grab some diapers for the baby. And my old assistant manager was standing outside of the Publix that I worked at smoking a cigarette. And I was like, oh, he's suffering. I could see it all over him. I knew it. I knew exactly what he felt. I could feel it as if it was yesterday. I still carried a lot of anxiety about that job on me. I'm not as bad now. Like, I can actually go to that Publix and shop now, which I couldn't for years. For about 3 years, I couldn't walk through the door without being really, freaked out. That's what that job did for me. Was that legitimate? No, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. You shouldn't be on the verge of a fucking heart attack over a job that doesn't even pay you a livable wage. Ever. You shouldn't be on the verge of a heart attack if you're making double six figures a year. Your happiness and you living the life that you want matters. Even if people don't understand. And there he was, smoking a cigarette, and I felt for him because he's a hard worker, man. He's good. And he was one of my favorite bosses I've ever had. And I knew he was struggling. I knew it was a really tough and horrible thing. God, I know. Thanksgiving's tough at that particular place, at any Publix, I would imagine. And my mom says to me, why don't you ask them if they could use some seasonal help? And I looked at her, I said, well, he couldn't pay me. And she was like, what do you mean? I said, they could not pay me enough money. They couldn't pay me what I would ask for to be seasonal help for them. I would not do it for what I was paid before. You know, if you could tell me I got $5,000, I'll make $5,000 this week, I'll help you Thanksgiving week, I might consider it. She was like, oh, well, it's better than nothing, she said. And I looked at her, and it hit me like a brick wall, and it hit her like a brick wall. No, obviously it's not. I just went through a year of no running water and no electricity in my house, going to the library 8 miles away every day with a laptop, and being there for the entire open, 70 hours a week or more. From the minute they opened until they were closed, I was in that library working. And I had nothing but cheese toast for dinner, and bread and peanut butter, and free shakes, and you know, boxed milk that once you opened it, you had to use it or it was going to go bad because we couldn't keep enough ice. We couldn't afford the ice. I experienced that because it was better than experiencing that job. And I learned so much then. So don't understand that your gut is so much more important. And you're going to go through some tough times in your business. And the more you listen to your gut, the more you really trust your gut, the faster your success will come to you, and you won't have to endure extreme long periods of time of suffering. Because once you're done with the suffering, and if you removed other people's opinions from the mix, you're going to come to a much better place. I struggled so hard that year. I would have shake parties in the park. I was afraid to tell people what I did in person. It used to freak me out. There was something that I wasn't listening to, and my gut was, the particular company that you're in is not in alignment with you. There was so much about it that was, and there was so much about it that wasn't. You know what I'm saying? It was the first time, that was during that time that I first hooked up with Empower Network, and I just couldn't get there. Because I needed to make money yesterday. I was so desperate. I totally sabotaged any ability to have success. Now, I could have gone through part of what I went through there, but had and maintained some Taoism in my mind. It really got connected to this stuff here, right now. And I would have had those lights turn on way faster. I would have broke through, and things would have happened quicker. Because once you start to accept your trueness, things start happening for you. Okay? So, my message to you today is remove other people's opinions. If it makes you feel funny, makes you feel bad, stop talking to them. You know? You know, this guy was trying to make me feel guilty for not calling him. Why would I call you? For what? So that I can hear an opinion that you're not qualified to give me? Give me advice that you're not qualified to give? You don't even want to share good times with me? I'm not talking about the money. I didn't want a fucking dollar. You know what I'm saying? Like, what I'm thinking that he thought was that if he told me that they won this money, that I would ask him for some, because I'm always desperate for money, because I'm always under the gun, because I'm always under the gun. You know what I'm saying? And that's not the truth. The truth is, I may have created the atmosphere about myself, definitely. But I'm not under the gun no more. And he was never there for me financially anyway. So why would I ever do that? I was so excited when I heard about it, because I was like, that's hope. You know, that's a regular motherfucker that barely gets by, that, you know, has to depend on other people to make shit happen for himself. And they had a breakthrough, and they're going to be able to get out from underneath whatever fucking rock that they've put themselves under. You know, over-mortgaged and way underpaid. You know, running a business that doesn't produce a profit. You know, having car payments and house payments that are out of this world because somebody thought that you were supposed to live like that. You can't live the way you can't afford to live. Till you get your head straight, doesn't matter how much money you have. Till you get your head straight, are you going to be able to work through the times you don't have any? Okay? So, get to work on really listening to your gut. Your homework for the day is, another long video, guys. Your homework for the day is this. All day long today, or tomorrow, whenever you're watching this video, vow to yourself that you will do nothing, even if it means you got to call out of work, or if you have to apply this at work in a way that might make people pissed off, because their opinion is not your problem. You are only going to do what your gut says is right for you. You're not going to use it as an excuse. Well, you can't, because like once you start to slack off on something and you know you want to reach for something, your gut's going to tell you you're slacking off. Pay attention to that. Take a deep breath. Do some breathing. Sit quietly for a while. Close your eyes. Focus on the darkness. Listen to the sound of your breath. See the color swirls come and all that fun stuff. Do that for 5 or 10 minutes and go on about the rest of your day and do nothing that your gut won't let you do. Don't talk to nobody. You get on the phone with somebody and things start going, you start feeling like, oh, God, I could be doing something else right now. Get off the phone. If you have an idea that's really awesome, write it down. Think it, ink it immediately. Doesn't mean you got to take immediate action and start a whole new motion and, whatever. Just do it. Just do it. Your gut is always right. But you got to start trusting it. You got to start trusting it. So, other people's opinions, they're like assholes. Everybody's got one. And you just can't go on anymore seeking approval in any shape or form from anyone outside of yourself. Only person that's got to really, really, really root for you is you. So, start believing that's enough, because it is. The successful people didn't get out there and do great things because they were worried about what somebody else thought. Yeah, sometimes we do it for our moms, and sometimes we do it for our kids, but when it boils down to it, when the push comes to shove, you're really doing it for you, for your interconnectedness, and for what your impact in this world, because you are of the people. You are of the vision. Trust it for a change. Give yourself a break. Okay? I love you all very much. If you're interested in working with me, if I'm like your kind of lady, let's get started. Let's get started. You're going to have to go to the blog post. I'm not posting on YouTube right now, so what you'll have to do is go to the blog post if you're watching this on Wistia, and at the bottom of the blog post I'm going to have a call to action there. You're going to fill out a small survey, and you're going to watch 2 videos, and you're going to make a decision. That's it. You should know by now whether or not you want to work with me. The rest is figuring out if what my opportunity is in alignment with yours, with your mind, with your gut. Use your gut when making the decision. And nobody's going to be mad at you. I love you all very much. This is Coach Tara Woodruff, the Mind Reset Coach, and I'm super happy with my new office. I'm going to go out there and have some fun. Looks hot. Bye.